Hey, what's good, Cadillac Tracks? I'm back again. I'm gonna show y'all another video. I'm gonna go where I went last time with the quick tips. I'm gonna start at quick tip 69. As you know, my channel has a lot of quick tips, and if you just watch these tips, they can actually help you with production. It's a lot of tips over Maschine and Fruity Loops. Machine's a real good tool. Fruity Loops are a real good tool, so it's good to use them together or try to get the tools that you get and try to incorporate them into the system. But a lot of these aren't compatible, so that's why I made my custom MK3 template so that you can use them together and you can use all the functions of both on both, or vice versa. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and we're gonna go ahead and go over some of the things here on my quick tips and also over the template. All right, I'm just gonna mention, take note, this was quick tip 68 where we left off the change machine folder. It's real important to know how to change the machine folder. Sometimes you reinstall Maschine, you need to move it to a new computer. Hell, sometimes you add new sounds to your library. You need to know where your machine folder is, how to change it. You might have a new hard drive, or you might speed up a hard drive by getting a new faster one. So you just want to be able to move around, reinstall Maschine, and get going with your old setup quick. So you need to know how to change the machine folder. After that, we did a template overview. You can see I'm showing you all this info. And this is back in the, man, that's crazy. I don't know. So this is number 69, reverse polarity. And as you know, with Maschine, you can reverse the polarity. Even, yeah. And then this is the MIDI out sustain. On my template, we have a button for this, and this is how you could do it if you didn't have something like a Maschine, or you just needed to do it with a device that you have. It's how you can make a sustain, or you can push a pedal button, or have a a key that you push, or a button you push on your controller, whatever it may be, to where it'll sustain the notes. That's the option that you would have if you didn't have a key, if you didn't have a pedal for your keys. All right, perform effects. I think I actually want to watch this one. I'm gonna pause the video and go over this. This is perform effects. This is a real important Maschine feature, and I have a perform effects chain on my template. So I'm gonna go over quick tip 71 to 1 sec. All right, so we looked at that video. That the perform effects video is just an introduction to perform effects. It just mentions the how that we have it and that we can use it, and it shows an example. All right, I made a video right here called Quick Tip 72, Smart Find. It just shows you how to smart find. As you know, if you're going through the browser on Fruity Loops, I'm gonna open up Fruity Loops. If you're going through the browser on Fruity Loops, I think everybody kind of already knows that you can push the browser like this, bring it over here, but you can right click, or you can click on the parent folder and you can go to Smart Find in this folder. And I believe you can also push F2 or F3 or oh no, after you do Smart Find, you can push F2 and it will begin to scroll through the results that come. There'll be if you search like kick, there could be a lot of them. So just scroll back and forth. You push F1 and F2. All right, so after that, we did the link to controller. As you know, all you got to do really is right click on a patch or something. You can easily link it right to a controller. I just closed Fruity Loops. But you can always link something to a controller easily just by right clicking link to controller and then moving buttons on the controller. It'll link them as long as you have Omni selected on that MIDI patch. After that, we did an organized plugin database. This one is just a simple one, but it's good for a lot of people that are just starting. So I'm gonna go over this real quick. All right, so the next one, organize presets, and that's real simple. It's just like when I click on my effects right here, you can see that I made some of these tags like Fruity Loops, Isotope, Isotope Pro, Brainworks, effects, compressors. These are parent folders, and all you do is you just go into the folder. You can click right here and go into the plugin database, go to effects, right click, and you can go to open. You can start making folders in there. They're gonna pop up right here, and you do the same thing like you would do right here. You just go to effects. That's for the effects section, and generators is for the patterns. All right. In the next video, I went over new tone. That's just a tool you can use to tune the 808. It's just one tool, so we're not going to go over that one in depth. The next one was C tuner. That's another tool that you can use to find the pitch of a sound, like a kick. You can see what key it's in. If it was a snare or a drum sound or an odd sound, you can see what key it might be playing in using that. All right, this next one right here was transpose. Looks like it has a lot of views, and it's really important. It's a real important thing. So we're gonna go ahead and open up this one. And this is a feature that we should all kind of be using. Well, I'm even gonna say that. I'm just gonna go over it real quick. All right, so here's my video on transpose, and you can see that I have a little piano set up here, pulled up. So I'm gonna pull up Fruity Loops. And basically what I was mentioning in that video is basically how we transpose. A lot of times when you're playing in a certain key, you just want to start adding new instruments and playing in those same keys. And so one easy way to do that is kind of just to, let's say these were different instruments like pianos and VSTs instead of samples. I could easily just if I had a melody or whatever going and it was in the key, I'm just gonna pull up my little key thing right now. Let's say that it wasn't in the key. See, it was playing like in the key right here, a D sharp or whatever, or E flat. All I would have to do is go to my next sound or open up an instrument, and once it opens up, I could just go right here to the piano, and then anytime I hit a C on my piano, it's gonna play a C. But if I'm in a certain key and I know I'm in a certain key, I could just move this over by clicking right here. Sometimes it'll actually go in reverse. I mentioned that in the video, and you'll just have to see what I mean for yourself. But sometimes you'll go the other way. So sometimes I would pick this D, or sometimes I pick this. Most of the time you'll come down the scale, and you'll just hit a lower octave, and then you can from there be playing in that key, still hitting C. So that way you can kind of keep your finger in the same, but change or transpose the key, whatever instrument you're playing. And so that's a real important feature. I use it all the time. And so that's a big one. All right, I'm just gonna skim over these other ones. I see they don't have a lot of views, and some of these features y'all might already know, or I hope y'all do. But this is just mixing in mono. Sometimes with your kick or your bass, you want to put it in mono so that you can hear it, how it's gonna sound closer in the final mix. And so you'll just switch it in mono. This is a real good one, organized contact. A lot of people have a lot of contact kits, or they're not able to browse contact fast or real good. So this shows you how to organize your contact kits, especially when you have a lot of them. I think it even has a link to a tool to do that. This is auto save, which we should all have turned on in Fruity Loops, just so that if we're making something and it doesn't just crash and we lose it. Quick copy, that's another feature. It's an important one that we use a lot, but it's basically just anytime you have an instrument playing, you can duplicate it or clone or make a quick copy, and it'll go ahead and make a clone or duplicate. All right, ASO. These are ASIO drivers. You know, I just talk about them. I really don't like to use those. Sometimes if you're on your little laptop or something, you're just so used to using it, you don't know any better. So that's what that is. Then you have triple buffer. We just talk about the triple buffer. I guess it must be a mystery. There's a lot of people looking into what it was or what it is, but it's just a way to turn that latency down. So we put that on, and it basically delays things, lets your computer processor run a little faster before everything plays. And a lot of time you can't even tell the difference because it's playing. All right, audio settings. These are some, so it looks like I was going over a lot of the audio settings and information in these videos. We went over Z game, fade out. I showed you how to do a fade out the way that I do a fade out. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna show you real quick too. An easy way to do a fade out is if you have some beat and it comes right here. Well, if it was ending right here, and it was like that, what we can do, or a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just select the whole beat or the section from the start to the end, and then from there, I believe what it was I would go to the mixer and I would push the knob. That's what I would do. And I did create the automation clip. And so it makes the clip the length of that selection that we made. So I just made it, bam. And there's your volume. Sometimes you don't want it right there. It's gonna go to whatever channel or whatever pattern you had selected when you did the command. So sometimes you wanna move down, but you can always just move down with your mouse, or you can hold down shift and you can like roll it down with your mouse center button or drag it, and it just repositions it. So there's your volume, and if you wanted to, you see these little dots, you can always make new dots, but before you make a new dot, you always want to click on one. So I'll click on this beginning one, and I'll go to copy value. That way when I click a new dot, I might put it right there, and that's where the fade out's going to start. It needs to be the same value so the volume doesn't decrease until the fade out starts, and then we fade it out. So I showed you we just basically made a point, and then we pasted the value, so the volume is the same 80 to 80 until that point, and then it goes down. And so this is an easy way to do a fade out. This is actually also the easy way to do automation. So that's exactly how I do automation. It's a good, easy, perfect way. Let's say you want like a certain section to have a certain effect. Just select the section, then go to the effect, then create an automation clip. And once you create an automation clip, it'll come here and it'll be that length that you need. A lot of times you'll have, or what I do is I just have the effect loaded up. So it could be this effect right here, the plate. And when the plate's loaded up, I might have one where the effect is on. Bam, create an automation clip, and then I'll turn it off, create an automation clip. So I just made 2 automation clips, and you can see it right here. It says bam, bam. The first one was on, the second one was off. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make the second one, I'll just go to right here and I'll right click it, and I'll go to change color. And I'll make it red, so red means stop, green means go. So now I have automation clip for it being on and being off, and so it's just simple stuff like that we went over in that video, and you can change the automation clip. All right, let me go crazy. All right, so this one was going over the echo delay. That's the hi-hat feature built inside of Fruity Loops where it makes echoes and delays. This is also the ARP, but it's the same section where it does ARPs. And then the set snap, it shows us how we can set snap. If you have my template, we have a button we can push where we can change snaps at the push of a button, which is good. Extra swing. It's just like using the swing. A lot of us don't utilize swing, but using that swing bar can give more swing and shit, especially when you're doing drums. And on my template we have a knob that we swing, and so just swinging different things can give you a different vibe, and it sounds good. Ghost notes. I think we all know about ghost notes. If you're in the piano roll and you have some notes, you can have ghost notes or a picture of the other notes from other instruments so that you can see the chords. You could go over them with the new instrument, but you can see what they are. They're not playing. All right, hard pan. That's left and right. And that was actually a tip or a technique I had picked up, but it was talking about when you are panning, to go ahead and really pan it. Hard pan. All right, copy the value. This is basically like automation, copying values. Just like I showed you the trick with the 2 points where we copy the value. The riff machine, that's when you push Alt R inside of the piano roll. The randomizer, that's like all some. Check that out. It makes random patterns. That could actually help some people. And then we have the strum. I think that's Control or Alt S. And that's how you do the strum. So those are all piano roll techniques. Those are good to check out. All right, so the flamer. Wow, the flamer. That's another one of those, and that's another technique inside the piano roll. Not a lot of people talk about or use often, perhaps. All right, and then this is my custom template. So we go back over. Oh shit, custom templates. Let's actually look into this real quick. Yeah, this is a video talking about the templates when I first made it a long time ago. So let's listen.
And I did set a price for 20 templates, so if you're still interested in that, it is $20. The reason being is because it took me a very long time to set up, and I'm going to show you just a little bit about how to set that up so that you can start the journey yourself, or you can see the value in the MK3 template that I'm offering. One thing that you can do on Fruity Loops and the Maschine MK3, the MK3 is basically a MIDI controller, meaning that.
All right, so I think I'm just basically mentioning the fact that we can use the MK3 as a controller, just like any other device, and you can use any device to do these functions that I have on my template. So you can basically customize any device to run Fruity Loops, but there's no key or anything available, and so it basically has to be made. But it's already been made because it runs on a CC language, or that universal controller language. Only thing is the shit is old, and there's thousands of these commands, and nobody wants to go over that shit, and or try each one of them individually until you figure out shit like I did. So let's listen a little more here. All right, yeah, in the video I mentioned the MIDI CC codes and how there's different MIDI CC codes. Like, look at this one. It's very blurry, but it says MIDI CC7 volume, and like that could be a universal command. So different plugins, different instruments, different devices could all use the same knob, and you just set the channel to MIDI CC7, and they could all start affecting the volume on these devices. And that's how Fruity Loops is set up. It's kind of like if it was some hardware or something. So it accepts MIDI CCs. And that's how we did the template. And so that's what I mentioned in this video. A lot of people ask me how we do the template exactly. And that's it in a nutshell. So, all right. And then, the key, Holy Grail. Look, this is actually a picture of my template. If you see. It's got the scales, so I have all these scales set up. This is one page. In the template, you can have pages, and these are all the buttons on the MK3. And that's all. These are all different buttons that you could assign to different functions. And so that's how we made the template. We kind of set it up and mapped it out the way we wanted it, and so somebody could do the same. And that's why the template is so good to have, because it gives you a key to provide you with the information you need to do so. And that key is actually a universal key because it could work on any device. It's kind of like what they did with the FL key, but they did a horrible job. But that's just my opinion, so I'm not going to talk about that. But we go over it, so I basically show everyone exactly how it's done. And you can see these are some more functions inside of the assign section. You can really break down and assign different commands inside of Fruity Loops. And so this is a video, real important video, that goes over how to set up templates, or if you were trying to use Maschine to control another program like Logic or Ableton or Pro Tools or whatever the hell you're trying to use. All right, we're gonna go to the next quick tip. All right, I was just looking at getting good. We went into MIDI mode. Well, hell, MIDI mode is basically the mode where the template starts. Maschine has MIDI mode, meaning that it turns into a MIDI controller, and it inputs and outputs MIDI. So that's exactly like what the template is doing, input and output MIDI. That's why Fruity Loops is being controlled by a device, because it's receiving MIDI notes, just like when you push a little piano. So MIDI mode. So this is really about Maschine. Hell, a lot of it's about Fruity Loops. Like all your little music programs have all these MIDI functions, but MIDI is it's an old thing that we use, and yeah, setting it up, getting all the connections, if you will, could take a while. But the next one was CADILLAKTRACKZ Lifetime Kit, and this is a kit that I have available. I'm about to release this back again. I'm about to get my store set up so you can buy the template again, and also buy my little drum kits. I had the price on this one real high, but I'm gonna bring it down real low now. This kit is like 2 gigabytes though, and basically has all the sounds that I made drum kits with, custom drum kits on Maschine with. But they're all organized in like monster folders, so it has all the kicks from like hundreds of drum kits. So now it's like 200 kicks. But these are kicks that I went and found individually, one by one. So it's just a lot of time in this selection, and I did that. I had a lot of time on my hand. So this is mix levels. This is wow, looks like a lot of people looked at this one. This is just a technique recommendation that I was given to people. I think a mix is something that is subjective, but I did make an important note, or an important detail that I mentioned in here. It just talks about the audio chain in Fruity Loops, and when audio comes in Fruity Loops that are in and out, or in to out, it has a certain signal chain or whatever. And so, hell, why not start at the beginning of the chain instead of at the end? And so that's what I was just mentioning. All right. So after that, we did some beat making videos. I show you my screen, and we kind of make beat making videos for a while. And right here, we went back over the template. I had to keep going over the template. This one has more views, and it goes more in depth. Looks 42 minutes going over the template. So the template has a lot of stuff, and even when I'm talking as fast as I do, it took me 40 minutes to break that down. But I wanted to go over each detail and each function, because I see a lot of people get the template and they're not even using it totally. They're just using it. They might use one function, or they wanted to do one thing, or they wanted to do this, or hell, they might have wanted to open the playlist and the piano roll and stuff. And so this right here is more beats making videos that we did, so you can check these out later. Link FL step sequencer. Hell, that's a big one. I'm just going to explain this one. You have to watch it if you want to really check it out. But this is how we record from Maschine into the step sequencer on Fruity Loops. So if you ever wondered, how can I finger drum on Maschine and then have it come into the little dots that you click in with your mouse onto the step sequencer, you can do it, but then also you have to take into account that sometimes your fingers are off a little bit, and those steps are not off. So you would have to quantize it. And so you have to learn how to auto quantize, or meaning have, just like if you have a piano and you play, like a lot of people don't have auto quantize on. We just push quantize. But Fruity Loops has an auto quantize, and the auto quantize is set up by the snap. So it wouldn't do any good for it to be on and it quantizes your shit and fucks it up every time. So you have to change the snap or the sensitivity so that it can always get it right. And so we did chord finder. Hell, you already know. This goes over the template and also the tools you can use with the template, and also different chord finders like Chahulu. Machine's full of chords. There's chords on the internet, and so you can use a chord generator program. You push one key on the machine and it can generate a chord. Alright, this one right here is a real good one. I go over the template in detail real quick, real fast, only 30 minutes. So make sure you check this one out. This one has a lot of views, and that's a good one. Alright, this is another one like I was just mentioning, recording to the FL step sequencer. So basically I'm showing you how to record right into the step sequencer from Maschine. Gotta check that out. Adding custom kits with pictures. This is a big one. Like when you add a custom kit, I'm just gonna open it up for a second, matter of fact. Alright, so I'm just showing a scene from the video right here. You can see it right there. It's showing my drum kits inside the machine, and even on the machine. You can see a little earlier right here. And that's it right there. You can see it in the top right. You can add a custom code, a custom picture here. It could be anything. It could be like some guns, a car, like the beach, whatever. You can make your own thumbnails, and you can create your own folders. And I have my custom drum kit, so I had to bring it in the machine so that I could see it. And it's got its own little picture and little picture logo that I made. And so this is how we go over how to do that. So I'm just gonna skip over that. All right, so yeah, that was about it. I think I mentioned some YouTube channels that were good references. I showed you a technique to tighten drums on machine, just like a sampling or editing technique. This one right here is a very good one. In fact, I need to go over it myself. Arranging lock states. I show you how to arrange lock states in Fruit Loops. And so I think Blessed Beats just had a beat just today or yesterday about this, because it's really an important feature. You gotta think you can lock the states and change them, so it opens up a lot of possibilities and a lot of limitations that you have. They can be overcome by just switching lock states. So you didn't want to do that, but now you can use the lock state to do what you wanted to do. Different editing, just like a lot of different things, especially with the perform effects and the lock states hand in hand. That's basically what you're doing. You're switching from effects and different effects and sounds, perhaps. So this one shows you how to arrange lock states in Fruity Loops. Complete Control. That's a powerful tool. It lets you basically play scales and keys on your piano, even your old piano, your custom little piano that you have. If you want to put scale mode on it, it doesn't have scale mode. We just use Complete Control. Now it turns your regular keyboard into a scale mode keyboard, just like a Complete Control keyboard. It gives you all the functions. It even has their chord, and it has all their chord bank, so you can play chords with one key, and you can go over their whole chord bank and use that for building progressions. All right, this is the big one. Arranging Omnisphere presets. Hell, you just need to watch the video. If you have a lot of Omnisphere presets, you should arrange them just like I showed you how to arrange Fruity Loop sounds. If you have like 10 sounds from Internet Money, put them all in one folder, and then right there in that folder, you can put how many banks are in it. I like to put the number 8, so I put like the name Internet Money, and I put 8, and it would have 8 different sound banks from different creators in Internet Money that made sounds, and it just organizes it and makes it load faster. It looks a lot better. Hell, I remember one time, I think that's why I did it. I had so many presets in Omnisphere that it would fill up my whole screen or something, or it was something stupid like that. So sometimes you gotta organize it. All right, load contact kits faster. That's just a technique. Arranging on machine. That's just technique. Scale helpers. That's technique. We did 50 free VSTs as a reference to 50 free VSTs. I showed you about a tool that you can use to tune your drums. And this one right here, trigger channels. Go ahead and look at this real quick. Alright, and this is another video. I think this was like the cap. And what I call it is trigger channels. So on my template, we have a mode called triggers. And when you open that mode up, it opens up this trigger channel so that you can now finger drum right into the step sequencer inside of Fruity Loops. Just remember, I think I mentioned it, when you turn on triggers mode, turn on the auto quantize mode. It's a certain way that you do that. And then you can play the triggers mode and have it start recording right into Fruity Loops. And the thing about that is you can record all 16 pads. So I can have 16 different channels or sounds or whatever inside of Fruity Loops. They're all linked up just like it's looking right here. These are 16 different sounds, kick, snare, blah, 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 blah. And then I start finger drumming on machine, and it's going to start dropping my dots. So I think this was the final video where I was showing everybody how to do that. I've always wanted to make sure everybody was doing that, but I don't think I've seen people doing that. But I've always known that's a real powerful thing to do, if you think about it. But anyway, let's I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there. It's 30 minutes long, and on this video we went through all the way up to quick tip 115. So I think the next ones are real important. There's only a few more, in fact. So I just wanted to make a quick video just recapping all the quick tips. I'm also going to be making some more beat making videos, but you should see the repetition in the videos, and you should kind of just take that to heart, because that's what we're doing. We're trying to learn these techniques, and these techniques are just time-saving techniques and workflow techniques. Alright, so next time, man, check out my channel. If you haven't watched all these videos that I just went over, check them out. Also, check out 1 through 68. And these are just quick tips. Each one's about a minute or two, and it just shows you different tips, tips and techniques and stuff you can use when you use a Maschine and Fruity Loops. And the key to it is having my template on a lot of them. But my template is going to be available soon. I think my store went down because I didn't pay the bill or something, and I never opened it up, which is crazy because it was starting to run better. But I do feel bad that I've made it unavailable for a lot of people, and it's a good resource, and a lot of people are still active on my channel, but I haven't had the resource available. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the template back available for everybody. And right now there are no new updates on the template, but I can't even say that everyone's using all the features yet. So I want to make sure everyone knows all the features. And then I'm going to look for different things that we can do. As these programs update, though, like Maschine and Fruity Loops, my template doesn't grow or get outdated. It just stays even more relevant because it opens up more features, basically. Because more features are added to Fruity Loops, and then we can use those or use the Maschine to start to use or do or command those features. And the template, it doesn't stop working or something. These are universal controls. They'll always be around. So, all right. Until next time, CADILLAKTRACKZ.